The episode of The View began like any other lively broadcast, with the familiar round table set against the bright studio lights and the co-hosts settling into their seats amid warm applause from the audience. Joy Behar, the veteran comedian with decades of experience on the show, appeared in high spirits, cracking jokes about recent headlines and sharing her signature sarcasm. Special guest Steve Harvey, dressed sharply and flashing his trademark smile, was there to promote his latest project and engage in what was supposed to be friendly crosstalk. The conversation flowed smoothly at first, touching on everything from family life to entertainment industry gossip. Whoopi Goldberg moderated with her usual calm authority, while the other panelists chimed in with laughter and nods. But beneath the surface, subtle differences in perspective started to emerge, particularly when the topic turned to cultural sensitivities and public figures' responsibilities in the media. Steve Harvey shared a story from his career about navigating controversy with humor, emphasizing the importance of keeping things lighthearted and not taking offense too easily. Joy, however, pushed back gently at first, arguing that some issues demanded serious accountability rather than deflection through comedy. The exchange remained civil, but the tone shifted noticeably as both personalities defended their viewpoints with increasing passion, setting the stage for what would become an unforgettable confrontation. As the discussion deepened into more polarizing territory, specifically around recent political controversies and the role of celebrities in speaking out, the energy in the studio grew electric. Steve Harvey leaned forward, his voice steady and confident, recounting how he had handled backlash in the past by focusing on unity and avoiding escalation. He suggested that constant outrage culture was harming open dialogue and that people should approach disagreements with grace. Joy Behar, never one to shy away from direct commentary, countered sharply, pointing out what she saw as inconsistencies in how certain public figures addressed social injustices while profiting from mainstream platforms. She referenced specific examples from the news cycle, her tone rising with frustration as she accused some of hypocrisy. Steve responded by defending his approach, insisting that humor could bridge divides better than confrontation, and he implied that Joy's style sometimes crossed into unnecessary aggression. The back and forth intensified, with interruptions and overlapping voices filling the air. The audience shifted uncomfortably in their seats, sensing the genuine heat behind the words. Other co-hosts tried to interject to de-escalate, but the momentum was too strong, and the clash between Joy's blunt New York candor and Steve's smooth Southern charm turned into a full-blown ideological standoff that no one could ignore. The breaking point arrived when Joy accused Steve of downplaying serious matters for the sake of his public image, her voice cracking with emotion as she declared that real change required uncomfortable truths rather than polished platitudes. Steve, visibly taken aback but maintaining composure, fired back by questioning whether her constant criticism helped or simply divided people further. He raised his hand in a gesture of peace, but Joy interpreted it as dismissal and retorted with a pointed remark about his game show persona not translating to substantive debate. The studio fell into a stunned hush for a split second before erupting into murmurs. Cameras zoomed in on their faces as Joy's flushed with anger, Steve's jaw tightened in restraint. Whoopi attempted to redirect the conversation to a commercial break, but Joy, feeling unheard and disrespected, suddenly pushed back her chair with a loud scrape. In a moment that shocked everyone, she stood up, microphone still clipped to her jacket, and announced that she had endured enough of what she called performative politeness masking avoidance. The audience gasped as she declared, right there on live television, that she was done and not just with the segment, but with the show itself if this was the direction it was heading. Her words hung in the air like a thunderclap. Chaos ensued almost immediately after Joy's declaration. She stormed toward the edge of the set, waving off producers who rushed forward to intervene. Steve remained seated, looking stunned and shaking his head slowly, while the other co-hosts exchanged wide-eyed glances. The director cut to a wide shot as Joy paused near the wings, turning back briefly to address the camera directly, her voice trembling but resolute. She said she had given years of honest opinions to the program, but she refused to participate in what she perceived as a platform that stifled real discussion in favor of surface-level entertainment. Security personnel hovered nearby, unsure whether to escort her or let the moment play out. The live feed captured every second of the raw emotion of the audience's stunned silence giving way to scattered applause and boos. Back at the table, Steve finally spoke, expressing regret that things had escalated so far and hoping for reconciliation off-air. But Joy, tears in her eyes, shook her head and walked off stage, leaving the panel incomplete and the show in disarray. The control room scrambled, extending the commercial break far longer than usual as executives deliberated how to salvage the broadcast. In the aftermath of the dramatic exit, social media exploded with reactions ranging from shock and support for Joy's stand to criticism that she overreacted and unprofessionally disrupted the show. Clips of the clash circulated rapidly, garnering millions of views within minutes and sparking debates about free speech, generational differences in handling conflict, and the pressures of live television. Behind the scenes, ABC issued a brief statement acknowledging the incident and promising to address it appropriately, while insiders reported frantic meetings involving producers, talent agents, and network executives. Steve Harvey, in a later interview snippet that surfaced online, expressed sadness over the outcome and emphasized that he respected Joy's long career, even if they disagreed passionately in the moment. Fans of The View flooded comment sections, some calling for Joy's permanent departure and others demanding her immediate return with apologies. The episode's ratings spiked dramatically in reruns and online streams, turning the controversy into one of the most talked about moments in daytime TV history. Speculation ran wild about whether this marked the end of Joy's tenure or merely a heated outburst that would eventually blow over, but for now, the show went on without her. The empty chair a stark reminder of the fracture. Reflecting on the explosive event, many analysts pointed out how it encapsulated broader tensions in media today where personalities with strong opinions clash not just over ideas but over the very style of discourse itself. Joy Behar's decision to quit live on air, whether impulsive or principled, highlighted the challenges faced by long-running hosts in an era of heightened scrutiny and polarization. Steve Harvey, emerging from the incident with his reputation largely intact, continued his promotional tour with grace, focusing on positivity in subsequent appearances. The View's producers faced pressure to decide Joy's future, weighing her iconic status against the need for stability on the panel. Viewers were left divided, some praising her for authenticity and others lamenting the loss of civility in what was once a space for diverse viewpoints. As days passed, rumors swirled about possible reconciliations or contract negotiations, but the raw footage of that moment remained etched in public memory, a reminder that even in scripted television, genuine human emotion can erupt unexpectedly and change everything in an instant. The incident served as a cautionary tale about the fine line between passionate debate and irreparable rupture on live television.